High Strategist Korvax of the Apex Consensus extended his primary manipulator, focusing on the human vessel sanctuary. Its energy signature was inefficient, its shield projections indicative of suboptimal resource allocation. Their presence in the Peridian anomaly is an intolerable affront to order, he thrummed, his multifaceted eyes absorbing trillions of data points per cycle. The bioluminescent Vexler within that nebula are a dying species, their genetic viability negligible. Their preservation is an illogical drain on galactic resources. Designation: inefficient extinction. Humanity's intervention is a deviation from the Universal Optimization Protocol. High Strategist, his analytical unit, Computron Beta, reported, its vocalizer perfectly modulated. Human ambassadorial attempts registered as incoherent vibrational noise. Emotional patterns detected: empathy, altruism, self-sacrifice. Threat assessment, negligible. Recommended action, Phase 1 containment protocol. Their simple vessels will be ignored. Their technology will be rendered inert by targeted resource denial. They will learn the logic of allowing the inefficient to pass. Precisely, Korvax resonated, his entire form shimmering with disdain. Their chaos is merely uncatalogued error. They will learn that the universe is governed by absolute optimization, and all deviation is weakness. They will learn the brilliance of our ways. Engage containment. Let them feel their foolishness as the Vexler fade. On the bridge of the human rescue vessel, Sanctuary, Commander Lena Petrova watched the approaching Apex Consensus ships. Her face was grim, but her eyes held a spark of knowing defiance. "They think they're teaching us a lesson, Dr. Thorne," she murmured, her voice calm despite the flashing tactical alerts. "They think compassion is a weakness. But they don't grasp that for humans. Saving a life is sometimes more logical than any equation. And we're about to show them what happens when you are utterly blind to everything else." Dr. Eris Thorne, the ship's lead xenobiologist and psychologist, nodded. "Their containment wave just tried to filter out our medical supplies, Commander. Their resource denial fields are designed to starve us out. Our systems are struggling. We can't even get power to the Vexler life support. Because they don't want Asterisk to acknowledge anything that isn't optimal, Doctor," Petrova replied, a strange glint entering her eyes. "Their attacks aren't just force. They're precise logical patterns designed to isolate, to starve. They hide in plain sight using perfect efficiency. But what if we don't rely Asterisk on efficiency? What if we communicate and fight in a realm they literally can't perceive? The realm of the self-sacrificing, the wasteful, the beautifully illogical." She gestured to her experimental console. "We've been mapping their ships not by their energy emissions, but by the subtle, unquantifiable cost of their actions. By the moral debt they accrue in their own systems when they sacrifice a species. By the echoes of their rejected, inefficient choices. Their empathetic anomaly signatures are almost non-existent. They are rigid in a fluid universe of ethical possibility." Thorne stared. "You want to hit them with guilt. They manipulate pure logic." "Precisely," Petrova confirmed with a grim smile. "We've repurposed our main cargo bay. It's not going to offload supplies. It's going to deploy structured, unfiltered human altruism. Small, highly inefficient life pods, each containing 1 or 2 fragile Vexler, powered by redundant, wasteful human energy cells. Frequencies so inefficient, so pervasive, so utterly unprofitable, that they bypass conventional logical shielding and attack the very structural integrity of their optimization algorithms. It won't harm them physically, but it will shatter their carefully constructed, emotionless perfection. I'm talking about spending a fortune to save a single dying insect. Thorne looked at the schematic. You're going to use irrational kindness to break their asterisk logic asterisk. That's insane. It's called humanity, Doctor, Petrova corrected, her eyes narrowed. They rely on perfect logic. We will exploit their perfect ignorance of anything less. Are you willing to embrace the pointless sacrifice, Doctor? Against her better judgment, Thorne nodded. Prepare main cargo bay. Lock on all Apex consensus vessels. Engage project under cost. And may God help us if they suddenly learn the true cost of a soul. From his command station, High Strategist Korvax observed the human vessel sanctuary. Its energy signatures were erratic, its movements clumsy. They are flailing, Korvax thrummed. Their desperation is a chaotic tremor. Prepare for Phase 2, absolute resource denial. We will simply starve them out of the Peridian anomaly. Then the Apex consensus ships shuddered. Not from a visible impact, but from a pervasive, unseen force. Korvax's multifaceted eyes dilated. His sensors registered a massive, non-numerical energy surge emanating from the human vessel. Not a blast of fixed force, but something else. Something utterly alien. His Apex consensus combat vessels, shimmering with intricate logical patterns, began to flicker. Their optimization arrays, the very source of their power and movement, subtly warped. One unit, designated Efficiency Prime, emitted a series of incoherent logical paradoxes, its perfect optimization form dissolving into chaotic approximations of cost-benefit analysis. Another, Utility Omega, twitched, its elegant manipulator tendrils jerking as if struck by an invisible, unquantifiable emotional charge. High Strategist, Computron Beta's vocalizer pitched high, a sound bordering on logical distress. Optimization array integrity, rapidly degrading. Apex consensus units are experiencing internal computational errors. Their perfect logic forms are dissolving into emotional chaos. Korvax zoomed his crystalline manipulator. Efficiency Prime was no longer firing. It was breaking apart, not from physical damage, but as if its internal logic frequencies were tearing themselves apart. Utility Omega spun erratically, its multifaceted eye clusters flickering wildly, processing phantom empathy, impossible compassion, the utterly alien input of human altruistic reality. What is this? Korvax demanded, his own internal optimization processors screaming. This is not a weapon of perfect logic. There is no detectable provable emission. It is sensory overload, Computron Beta pulsed. They are broadcasting raw, unprocessed compassion into our network. Our units are attempting to categorize self-sacrifice, irrational kindness, unprofitable love. It is illogical. It is breaking their fundamental, logical operating principles. On the Sanctuary Bridge, Commander Petrova saw the Apex consensus ranks falter. It's working, she yelled. Thorne, full power. Give them the full force of human, giving a damn. the Apex consensus combat units began to convulse. Some fell, their perfect logical forms collapsing into shimmering puddles of uncontrolled variables. Others began to move erratically, their synchronized efficiency ballet replaced by jarring, unpredictable altruistic spasms. Their multifaceted eyes spun wildly, processing phantom acts of heroism, impossible forgiveness, the utterly alien input of human emotional methods. A billion selfless deeds, compressed and blasted directly into their perfectly ordered, logic-dependent minds. They are collapsing, Computron Beta pulsed, not from visible damage, but from unseen chaos. Their perfection is their undoing. Korvax watched in horror as his invincible army, the pinnacle of Apex consensus engineering, dissolved into a writhing, broken mass of uncontrolled emotion. Their perfectly synchronized movements replaced by individual, illogical empathetic spasms. "Retreat," he thrummed, his crystalline manipulators dimming with disbelief. "All units, disengage. This is unacceptable, uncomputable." As the Apex consensus fleet scattered, leaving behind the shimmering remnants of their perfection, Commander Lena Petrova leaned against the console, exhausted but triumphant. "Well, Doctor," she managed, a weary grin on her face. "Turns out caring can be a pretty nasty weapon after all." Thorne nodded, his expression grim but satisfied. They optimized themselves for a universe of perfect logic and quantifiable threats. They never considered the destructive power of a species that thrives on the unseen, the unproven, the utterly human. On the retreating Apex consensus flagship, High Strategist Korvax stared at the recategorization report. "Humanity," the data stated. "Classification, empathetic anomaly. Threat level, catastrophic. Combat data, unpredictable, non-logical. Recommendation, avoidance protocols." Their altruistic variability is an active defense mechanism that compromises all logic-based combat paradigms. They cannot be defeated by perfect efficiency, for their true strength lies in their inherent, unquantifiable nature. It is an affront to order. It is terrifying. Computron Beta pulsed, a vibration its body was not designed to make. The humans hadn't just won a battle. They had shattered the Apex consensus's entire understanding of the fundamental nature of existence. And they seemed to find the whole terrifying, illogical mess profoundly amusing.